Everybody wants to pack lighter. The problem is that most packing advice tells you what to buy, not what to leave behind. Over time, we found that the easiest way to cut down your kit isn't bringing fewer useful things, it's getting rid of the gear that solves only one problem. So today, we're talking about travel items we leave at home, even though people swear by them, and the gear we always make room for because it earns its spot in the bag. Let's get into it. First up, the neck pillow. Yes, airplane seats are uncomfortable. No neck pillow will make you feel like you got a 5-star sleep. However, more importantly than that, it's a one-trick pony. You use it to sleep on the plane, and that's it. The rest of the trip is just taking up space in your bag. Instead, on travel days, I wear a hoodie with a thicker hood. If you want to go even more minimal, a packable jacket works great too. Just rest it up against the window for head support. Most airplane seats have substantial enough side wings on the headrest to keep your head from bobbing around, so you may not even need a backup. If you really can't live without a neck pillow, look for the inflatable kind because they pack down way smaller and you can customize the amount of air inside to match how much support you need. My friend brings one that she mostly just uses for lumbar support, but she'll move it to rest her head if the headrest wings don't cut it. A lot of countries are cashless now, making money belts effectively useless. In fact, I just spent a week in London and didn't touch a single pound the entire trip. Now, there are exceptions to this. Cash is still largely preferred in places like Thailand, and last year I had to carry a few $1,000s into Tanzania because it was cheaper to pay for our safari in person in cash. In that case, I used a low-profile sling, wore it under my hoodie, and only had it on me on our way to our lodging right after we landed. Yes, that sling was basically a money belt, but once the cash was gone, it became a sling for the trip, which is much more versatile. That whole situation is a bit of an edge case anyway. Most people aren't traveling with thousands of dollars in cash. In general, your best security tool is self-awareness. If you're heading somewhere where theft is a real concern, the answer isn't a money belt. Instead, don't carry a ton of cash on you and be discreet when you do pull out your currency. Money belts make you look like a tourist, and looking like a tourist is a surefire way to become a target. Some people even take it further with clothing that has hidden pockets like a scarf with a secret compartment. We think that's overkill since the second you reach into it once, everyone knows exactly where it is. Instead, stay aware of your surroundings and you'll be fine. If you're dead set on extra security, look for a bag with a security pocket that's not visible from the outside. Or just go for a sling, which is actually what we prefer in general for everyday carry on a trip. You wear them on your front, so it's a lot harder for someone to slash and grab, and even if they do, you'll notice much faster. We love packing cubes, but hot take, if they're not compression cubes, what's the point? Segmentation is nice, but the real value of cubes is saving space. So if you're buying cubes anyway, just get the compression kind. 2 birds, 1 stone. We recommend cubes that are made with a thin, durable material like ripstop nylon. It's lightweight, and the ripstop design prevents any potential tears from getting any bigger. Brands like Eagle Creek make great cubes that are pretty budget-friendly and come in a ton of styles and sizes. Plus, they use quality zippers, which is the most important thing for a set of packing cubes. If the zippers break, especially in the compression zipper, the cubes are essentially useless. Make sure you try the cubes before a trip too. A lot of budget brands use thicker materials, which sounds like a good idea from a durability standpoint. However, that inch or two of fabric still has to compress down into the cube, and if it's too thick, you actually lose a ton of usable space that should be going to your clothes instead. Another thing that takes up unnecessary space is a bulky travel adapter. You know, the kind you see all over Amazon. I get the appeal since they have a ton of built-in ports and look really powerful, but they just eat up valuable space in your travel bag. Plus, a lot of them actually aren't that powerful, and most don't convert voltage anyway, so you're not actually gaining anything by packing the bigger one. Instead, bring a small adapter with a single plug on the front and just use the wall charger you already have at home. Brands like Anker and Tesson now make slimmer designs that still have a couple of built-in ports if that's your priority. But if you want to save max space, get something like the Road Warrior. It's super flat, so it slides right into your tech pouch or admin panel without adding any bulk. Just because you're allowed 3.4 ounces of a liquid doesn't mean you should pack that much. Instead, size down your toiletry bottles to only bring what you'll use. For example, on a week-long trip, I'm only washing my hair maybe twice, so I pack about an ounce of each, which is still more than I need. That's why I like Cadence capsules. They're a little pricey and heavy, so it's not ideal if you're watching your bag weight on a strict airline, but the packability is hard to beat. If weight's a bigger concern, go with a squeeze bottle like the GoTube Plus. They come in really small sizes, they're sturdy, and in our experience, they're leak-proof. If you're traveling for months at a time, you'll have to scale up the bottle size. That said, I once split a single 3-ounce shampoo bottle with a friend on a 2.5-week trip, and between the two of us, we didn't even finish it. So before you leave, pay attention to how much of a product you actually use over the same duration as a trip, and match that energy in your toiletry bag. Also, stop packing body wash in general. That's one toiletry almost every hotel or Airbnb already provides. And if you want to pack really smart, bring Dr. Bronner's Castile soap. One bar can wash everything from your hair to your body to your clothing. Then you can leave those liquid bottles behind completely. Now for the somewhat controversial stuff we actually do pack, starting with an eye mask. When you're on a long flight, you can't control how comfortable the seats are or when the lights get turned on and off. While a neck pillow can make an airplane marginally more comfortable, an eye mask helps you to keep sleeping even after they turn on the cabin lights. On my recent red-eye to London, I woke up to find breakfast on my tray table and the cabin completely bright. But because I was wearing an eye mask, I was able to keep sleeping through the disturbance until I was ready to wake up, which I very desperately needed. However, we only recommend that you pack a dedicated mask for a long-haul red-eye where you actually need solid rest, or if you know you'll use it at your destination too. This isn't a must-have by any means, but it's much more versatile than a neck pillow. Plus, there are a ton of designs to choose from, so you can pick based on how minimal you want to go. If you're traveling minimally, a neck gaiter pulled up over your eyes blocks out plenty of light, and you can use it as a hat or sun protection when you land. If you're like me and hate anything touching your eyelashes or needed to be pitch black to go to sleep, go for something with eye cups. They're better at blocking light and easily adjust for maximum comfort. Alright, before I even start talking about travel wallets, drop a comment and let us know if you think that they're useful or a waste of money. I'll give you a second. Did you do it? Great. Now hear me out. I'm gonna try and change your mind. When you think of passport wallets, you probably think of those giant bulking card holders that fit like 6 passports. But they don't need to be like that. Yes, a lot of passport wallets are bulky, but brands like Slimfold, Owlet, and Peak Design make minimalist ones that are barely bigger than a standard billfold. I also treat the passport wallet like my daily wallet on the trip. The night before I leave, I put all of my essential cards inside, along with my insurance card and wallet tracker, and I leave my everyday carry wallet at home. Since I'm already carrying a sling or a day pack every day, I have enough space for a slightly larger wallet. Then my passport is on me at all times, so I'm never scrambling to find a safe place to stash it at my accommodations. It's just already with me. If you're the type of person who keeps your wallet in your pocket, a passport wallet is objectively less comfortable because it's always going to be bigger than a standard billfold. I'd argue that you should stop putting it there in general, but that's a conversation for a different day. In the meantime, I'll also argue that you don't find passport wallets useless, you just haven't found a passport wallet with the right design that makes it less of a burden to carry. So, did I convince you? Throw an edit on your original comment and let me know. This is another highly debated topic. Are earbuds or over-ears better for travel? I'm here to say neither, or both. What I'm trying to say is that it's up to you. Each style has its merits, but whatever you choose, they need to be comfortable enough to wear for hours and to sleep in. Over-ears usually have better sound quality and noise canceling, but you've got to find room for them in your bag or wear them around your neck the whole time you're at the airport and on the plane. That's not a huge deal, but if you're hitting the ground running in a new city, it's a bit cumbersome to wear them until you can check into your hotel. On the other hand, earbuds pack down easier and are more low profile, but you sacrifice some performance comparatively. Plus, there's always the risk of losing one in the airplane cabin. I've dropped mine by my feet before, and getting it back is a pain to say the least. Ultimately, the type of headphone you choose is more about what trade-offs you're willing to make, but comfort is a non-negotiable either way. We're all trying to move through TSA fast, so the last thing you want to be doing is taking off layers of your outfit. That's why we love belts with plastic buckles. You can walk straight through the metal detector without needing to take it off. Arcade is pretty much the cream of the crop in this department. They make a bunch of styles that are comfortable even on long flights because they flex with you, and they're low profile enough that if your shirt covers the belt, security usually won't even ask you to take it off. That said, if they do ask you to, just take it off. We're all about following rules, which brings me to our next pick. Yes, your hotel and Airbnb has towels. No, you can't always take them to the beach, the park, or the pool. That's why we always bring our own towel. We've tested a ton of packable towels, including ones that compress down so small that you barely even notice they're in your bag. Our go-to pick is the Ultralight Travel Towel from Matador. It packs down tiny and comes in 2 sizes, bigger if you want something for drying off after a swim, or smaller if you just want a washcloth, which most places outside of the US don't provide. We also tested towels from brands like REI and Pack Towel, which are solid, but Matador still packs the smallest. To be honest, if you want something small, Matador probably makes it. Travel towels in general, though, are one of those things that you don't always need but are thankful to have when you do. Like when you're walking around London during a record-breaking heat wave and need to wipe your sweaty face every 5 minutes. Speaking from very recent experience. So that's it, the stuff we skip and the stuff we swear by. We don't advocate for bringing gear just because, but these are some of the items that we found ourselves glad we've packed trip after trip. Instead of depriving yourself of comfort, packing with intention means every item in your bag earned its spot. If you found this video helpful, let us know in the comments below which items you leave behind when you pack, and we'll see you in the next one.